Being able to play as a skeleton is one of the most unique features Divinity Original Sin 2 has to offer. Along with their own set of racial skills and passives, when creating your undead character, the game tells you to keep your face hidden at all times, since the breathing population of this world fear your kind, responding only with violence. But what if you wanted to disregard the only thing the game developers told you not to do? Would you eventually become soft-locked? Or did the devs at Larian account for idiots like myself? In this video, I went bare bones to find out if you can beat DOS 2 as an unmasked undead. After ignoring 2 warning messages from the developers to keep my face veiled, I took control of my undead lizard wizard, removed her hood, and climbed up the ladder to enter the tutorial section of the game. What's normally an educational dialogue-based journey immediately turns violent when I sent shivers down this magister's spine. Being an unarmed prisoner, I'm clearly outmatched, but luckily, unlike pretty much every other human in this game, she does not regenerate life outside of combat. So by attacking her, retreating to the basement, and healing up in a pool of poison, you can grind her down over time with relative ease. Opening the door just past her corpse, I met 3 more Magister guards, who do know how to heal, but the second undead racial, Play Undead, allows me to ragdoll mid-fight, ending battle and forcing them to return to their post with their backs turned. A perfect situation for a sneaky skelly. In the next room, we'll also find the cast of recruitable allies for the game, who are scripted to always take your side should a fight break out. Since we're all level 1, we don't have much hope against these prison boat guards, but thankfully, by killing the man with the key, you can skip past this area, trigger a cutscene, and one-shot all your enemies. This grants full experience and freedom to explore the rest of the ship. For unexplained purposes, this boat full of prisoners also carries a supply of deadly chemical weapons. When unlocking this door, the game triggers an explosion in an attempt to destroy them, but if you're fast, you can steal a couple of them for your own future use. These death fog barrels will instantly kill the living, but as an undead character, I have full immunity. If that sounds broken, that's because it is. With those barrels in hand, I ran upstairs, earning experience from several scripted guards' deaths to get an early level up. Then helping the survivors below deck survive demonic slug attacks triggered the ship's sudden destruction by a kraken, followed by a mysterious guardian saving our lives and waking up on a beach. Still don't know how Larian got away with using the same intro twice in a row. Being solo's no fun, so I set out to find a friend. There's just one skeletal companion character like myself, making Fane the natural choice. After introductions, he lectured me on the importance of remaining masked to prevent the local savages from chasing us down. Unfortunately for him, that's kind of the point. Together maskless, we set our sights on Fort Joy, the prison camp settlement. But as the front gate is a little too well guarded for my tastes, I adopted an inconspicuous ladder climbing bush disguise to sneak my way in. Not long after, we're caught by drunk poker players turned undead slaying heroes. Their gamble didn't pay off. I made my way over their corpses and into the town. Completing all the quests here is considered strategically optimal. The only problem with that is that questing usually requires talking, an action that the locals would not partake with me. The first humanoid to not go for my non-existent throat was this corpse-eating ghoul. I gave him a flower, and in return he gave me a healing ring. Healing spells deal damage to undead in this game, so I can't use it to heal my characters. Unsure of the outcome, I restored life to this man on the brink of death, earned experience for quest completion, and after thanking me for saving his life, he attempted to take mine. Not a smart move for a man with 10 HP. Entering the cave nearby triggered the expected immediate battle, but to my surprise, not with everyone. This elf woman did not join the battle and would even chat with me, unafraid of my undead appearance, because this elf is permanently blind. She can't see my face, so she has no reason to be afraid. A really cool detail that no normal player would come across. The last completable quest I could find in Fort Joy was the Shakedown. Since Ethan is a recruitable companion, he doesn't attack you instantly and still would initiate the conversation to begin the quest. He and the elf took my side during the initial brawl and helped with several other battles nearby, until as a thanks for rescuing them from those racist bigots, they decided to attack me because of my racial features. After stomping out those hypocrites, I cleared out Camp Boss Griff and his goons to reach level 4. Then soon after, I discovered that sometimes when these NPCs call out the intention to slay me, the option to trade with them is still available, letting me fill out at least some of the gaps in my spellbook. Having fought off a fort full of unfriendly fucks, I returned to the front gate to deal with Alexander, the man at the forefront of this island prison operation. I delivered to him a death fog barrel payload, causing this 8th level villain Dallas to reveal her dragon form and flee the battle together with Alexander. Then by stacking explosive traps, I dealt with the second high level guard using one toasty fireball. Off these Magister's corpses, I found the key necessary to escape their fortifications, then ascended the ramparts in search of an exit. Along the way, I found a paladin being ganked by Magisters. After saving his life and reaching level 5, he thanked me kindly, leaving noticeably unfazed by my skinless appearance. Having dealt with my captors, I lowered the drawbridge to escape Fort Joy, somehow adopting a cat in the process. Just over the bridge stands Zalaskar, a friendly undead merchant who held a voice line that I bet that none of you have ever seen.
I see you wear no mask. You are proud of your heritage, as I am.
Zaliskar then informed us of a faction named the Seekers who helped him reach the island, recommending them to me as possible allies to escape from here with. I figured if they help this unmasked man, there's a good chance they'll offer me the same courtesy. Afterwards, I found the first remnant of these Seekers, and it appeared Zaliskar was full of shit. She attacked me right away like every other Neanderthal I'd encountered thus far. Curious as to see how the other Seekers would react, I rang the bell to enter their secret hideout, and was denied entry. Something I didn't even know was possible. Sneaking into their camp, they peacefully asked me to leave instead of the usual forced combat, teleporting me outside of their base of operations. My only hope was that their leader Gareth might be able to sway their opinion when I find him. I located Gareth play fighting with several Magisters, then jumped in to take his side. Together, we defeated the Magisters, and like clockwork, he turned heel to attack me. But since Gareth is such a main story character, I decided to flee the area, leaving him alive. Clearly, leaving this island would need to be done on my own. During my travels, I came across another permanently blinded character, Magister Loki. Much like the elf from earlier, you can speak with him and complete the quest to save his life from aggressive swamp undead. Afterwards, he hugged me to express his thanks. The rest of Act 1 did play out relatively normal. I discovered RPG Hordes of Gold, interrupted a 1000-year poker game, kissed a witch, and incinerated a Voidwoken monstrosity to reach level 8. Then, using the magic wands, I purged the Shriekers to reach the Godwoken Magister leader, Alexander. He spoke to me, annoyed about the fact that I escaped from his prison, without any mention of the lack of flesh on my face. We laid the smackdown to progress the story, finishing him with an attack that looks like it really didn't do anything at all. Malady then magically arrived, introduced her half-demon self, and expressed surprise that we're undead. But since she's also a bit of an anomaly, respected our heritage. She removed our slaved colors and forced us to witness a turn-based battle of the gods, where the most common RPG cliche of all time is revealed. I'm the chosen hero of a god. Wow, who could have seen that coming? With that stereotypical story arc out of the way, we commandeered a vessel to escape the island once and for all. In an actual shocking twist, the Seekers are friendly now. When speaking with Gareth, he explains that he was unaware of my undead status when we met earlier, but frame-by-frame analysis of that previous encounter reveals he's a liar. Before setting sail, I questioned Malady as to how she knew I was undead. I was expecting an equal level of bullshit to Gareth's answer, but surprisingly, she had another hidden unique voice line revealing she knows everything.
Well, you've eschewed your pretty little mask, haven't you?
And after googling the definition of the word eschewed, I've learned it meant she knows I've deliberately avoided using my mask. On the open sea, the game's lead antagonist Dallas arrived once again to ambush us. You're told by Malady you can't win this one, and under normal circumstances, she's right. Your allies die instantly, you're heavily outnumbered, and Dallas has 5 times the normal health pool of other characters at this level. But there's always a tactical way to overcome impossible odds. By teleporting Dallas in front of this boat's ballista, you can activate it to fire massive armor-piercing rounds, forcing her to fly away, leaving behind additional unique items as a reward and completing Act 1's wild ride. The main goal of Act 2 is to locate powerful sorcerers who can teach you how to grow your own powers. It also features a large town named Driftwood. This settlement houses the majority of quests, vendors, and skill books available in the Act. But an unwelcome reception from the city guards confirmed the locals are nothing more than bigoted, undead-hating simpletons who reward XP on death. And as a wise man once said, this entire city must be purged. Not even Bree could keep it together. After the culling of Driftwood was all said and done, the only ones who didn't make an attempt on my life were the Drudene drug-addicted basement dwellers who were as high as the percentage of you guys not subscribed to my channel. Only they have brain damage. What's your excuse? With the area safe for my kind, I set free the Seeker's guide, Meister, to follow her weird gas-breathing rituals, which luckily still work without lungs. The ritual allowed me to meet myself face to face, opened my eyes to the spirits of the world, and it got me level 11. One clearly overlooked feature of the Spirit Vision spell is that most of the deceased ghosts of the world are too afraid of my appearance to engage in conversation with me, and to be honest, I can't decide if that makes sense or not. I left Driftwood to find a sorcerer teacher named Jahan, a master demon hunter capable of furthering my abilities. Before he'll show me anything though, he needs a demon hunted on Blood Moon Isle, even though that's literally his job. The path to the island is blocked by death fog, a problem skeletons who can't breathe don't need to worry about. I hired a ferryman to sail us through the fog, spoke with the demon I was tasked to kill, and agreed to help him out with a quest in the area by killing some Blackring cultists. Blood Moon Isle is a level 15 area, meaning this isn't a simple task for a level 11. Instead, I employed strategy. You can turn nearly anyone in this universe into your ally by giving them free stuff. I paid for friendship, so when a fight breaks out, they'll help me. Then all I had to do was lure over my enemies and all hell would break loose. Each of the enemies' deaths here grants me more than 10% of a level, and they often drop high level gear as an added bonus. Since these two factions are quite evenly matched, I was able to snipe the demon that Jahan had put a hit on during the chaos. As a reward for demon slaying, he completed my final lesson in Swords Mastery, and as odd as it may sound, his training is all it takes to complete Act 2. Without even setting foot in over half half the map. But to satiate the thirst for useless knowledge in the video games I love, I did play through the rest of Act 2. Doing so, I found a few situations which were out of the ordinary, but the vast majority of quests in Act 2 could not be completed at all. Some highlights of the region included the elves treating me as normal people after saving their blind daughter, the succubus woman who helped me purchase the skills I was lacking, and being able to earn enough experience to actually reach level 15 before finishing the act. With all of this complete, I spoke with Melody to set sail for Act 3, the Nameless Isle. On this island, the only goal is to find your way into the Lost Temple of the Gods, learn how to ascend, and become a divine god yourself. The elves have the only major settlement here, and when they sent one of their own to peacefully welcome me into their city, I thought I was home free. Then the elf suffered sudden amnesia, turning on me immediately afterwards. Next, I met a pair of usually friendly demons who, despite looking scarier than I do, treated me as if I'm the abomination here. Since the local populace had already turned against me, I lit up their tree like a Californian forest during gender reveal season, confirming it's a boy. I figured I'd test the remaining factions in the area to see how each would react to my kind. Alexander's Magisters went for my head, the evil Shadow Prince, who would normally attempt to coerce you into joining, would have nothing to do with me, and the Black Ring soldiers with murder listed as their only hobby treated me as one of their own, which makes complete sense as they employ several undead soldiers in their ranks. I continued solving the axe puzzles nearby without much issue, but rather than waste my time doing what the game tells you to do, I took the patented Larian path. With a little bit of exploration, you can travel behind the temple and dig up a secret hidden entrance to skip all that boring story BS. Once inside, the Voidwoken Delegate comes to greet you. These Voidwoken won't speak to anyone with flesh, but as an undead character, you're offered the chance to join the evil factions. Swearing allegiance to their leader gives you permanent extra talent points, so of course I did that. The temple then introduces this supposed long epic fight where you compete against your former companions to reach the end of the gauntlet and ascend to godhood. But teleporting is overpowered, so you can get there in just one turn with proper planning, ending the contest and triggering Dallas's scripted ambush. Here she blows up the Godmaker 2000 and leaves the temple, which is now imploding. Don't ask why, just accept it. After fighting a mirror image of yourself and a giant evil robot, it's time to flee the island by teleporting to your magical talking ghost boat just before the island disappears. If that sounds ridiculous, Act 3 always kinda was. Welcome to the Confusion Club. After accidentally boning my companion, Fane and I set off to track down Dallas once more, beginning the game's final act. The normally peaceful pilgrims outside the city immediately decide to throw down, forcing me to go full murder hobo. Up the road, the Voidwoken, who I'd literally just made an alliance with, are seizing the city gates, and for reasons unexplained to me, they would not honor our alliance. Instead, I had to incinerate these insects to make further progress. Once inside the city, I didn't expect the violence to come to an end, but I also didn't expect the entire city square to go after me all together at once in one giant battle. In self-defense, I murdered all of them. The one section I did expect to be a gigantic pain in the ass is where Lord Linder Kem is stationed alongside the city guards. You're normally not required to fight them all together here, but as I'm not exactly welcome anywhere, I figured I'd get them all out of the way. Using my remaining death fog barrel I'd kept from the tutorial, I lethally gassed his entourage of level 20 protectors by teleporting them in for a wombo combo. Then I'd flop to the ground to drop combat and repeat the process until only Kem remained. This method of murder would never work on Kem though, and he was the first city dweller to talk to me in his usual way. That's because, spoiler, Kem's secretly an undead himself. He had nothing interesting to say about my skeletal appearance or the fact that I'd killed every one of his guards. So I beat him down like normal, took his key, and left to discover just how broken the main story questline may become. The first stop on the main questline, the sewers. Once inside, there's even an additional supply of death fog crates to use to cheese any enemy who breathes. The sewers also house the stolen painting needed to progress the story later on. These thieving sewer kids fled their hideout while their tame trolls choked on fog, leaving the painting for the taking. With the painting in hand, I entered the Kem family mansion, met his butler who bugged out and would never stop attempting to greet me, and then entered his underground garden vaults. The stolen painting acts as a secret key. Then he used a secret book to open another secret door, followed by one more secret painting for the final secret room. Not exactly creative to use a secret painting as a key twice in a row, but neither am I for writing the word secret 7 times in the script. In this final room, I stole Kem's Swarmbreaker, needed to break my alliance with the Voidwoken God King, but you get to keep all the extra talent points that you're given. I also set free his prisoner, Lord Ahu. Lord Ahu instructed me to find the toy maker in the city and learn where he's hidden the key to the Tomb of the Divine so we can track down Dallas. Then repeatedly said he wants to slay me for being undead and left the room. Even though Toymaker Sanders is a main story character, he appeared to be the first of which refuses to speak to me at all. Killing him and attempting to speak with his ghost yielded similar results. But his corpse did have the source collar key, and upstairs his secret locked chest contained the Scroll of Atonement. This scroll would be necessary for entering the chapel where Dallas is hiding. The streets to reach the chapel were filled with NPCs, but with the Death Fog crates and the Terrain Transmutation spell, I was able to one-shot all who opposed my facial features to reach the cathedral. Once inside, I used the Source Amulet to reveal the entrance. solved a really boring puzzle that doesn't even belong in this game, and then passed a spelling test pulling levers in the room to spell the word power. It's a good thing that I had that word memorized because nobody told my undead self that hint at any point. And it's here that I finally get to speak with Dallas. She dropped the bombshell that Fane is actually her father, and she's done all the evil stuff she did because her dad caused all the problems in the world and she's got daddy issues. Now you'd think that the woman who's been screwing you over the entire game, always one step ahead of you in her plans, who's unexplainably a dragon and has a bloodline relationship with one of your characters, would be the final boss of the game. But in a twist that can only be described as pure bullshit, the hooded man beside her is some ancient villain named Brachus Rex, who even though he did nothing all game, somehow escaped being a slave at this exact moment to become the final boss of Divinity Original Sin 2. Plus the Kraken who sank your ship during the tutorial shows up, and 3 other bosses from earlier in the game that you probably already killed are here too. Hope you took notes, cause I can't really explain how any of that makes sense. Together with Dallas, we focus fire Brachus Rex down, which instantly ends the most disappointing encounter the game has to offer, allowing us to ascend and become the Undead Divine, whatever that means. Thus proving you can still complete Divinity Original Sin 2 as a maskless undead. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you have a question, leave a comment. I do read them all. And as always, thanks for watching. Have yourself a wonderful day. Proxy out.
Yet another, yet another, yet another, yet another.